I think it's time to go. Because hot diggity dog, I think the winds have shifted in this direction.
It's a beautiful spot.
In this episode, on my third solo car camping trip in July 2021, my 8th nature healing adventure, I decided to return to Hope Valley again, not knowing that a wildfire was raging over the hill only 20 miles from my campground. Welcome to my channel, This Way to Bliss, where I hike and explore, car camp, and heal through nature, one step at a time. Hi, I'm Candace J. Frazier, and this is my story of growing through grief, resetting my nervous system, and breaking my addiction to chaos and confusion. Out here, I found the strength to keep going, and the first sparks of bliss and balance. Welcome back, fellow transcenders. In my last episode, Finding Stillness in the Storm, I took you on my second solo camping trip to Hope Valley. That journey was a full-on nature immersion. I found myself trapped in my car during a downpour, making dinner while thunder rolled across the mountains, and discovering that every storm really does settle. Driving into Hope Valley, this startling, huge plume of smoke stretched wide across the basin, twisting and folding in the blue like a living thing. For miles I watched it, one moment soft, the next fierce, a reminder that nature always mirrors what's inside of us. And I didn't realize it then, but it wasn't just a wildfire I was driving toward. It was a consciousness classroom, an invitation to witness destruction and still remember the calm within. When I finally reached the campground, the trees whispered, "Ground here." So I set up camp, a new spot this time, a front row seat to the plume of smoke stretching across the Hope Valley. You'd think it would calm my nerves, but instead I felt this familiar edge rising. My mind wanted control, my body wanted peace. For several years, my life was loud: divorce fallout, family estrangement, health unknowns, still in physical therapy and healing from the February 2020 car accident. So I came for nature therapy. Not to escape, but to remember who I am when I'm not bracing. And this was the lesson, to practice serenity. But I could feel the weight of what was happening. People's homes, wildlife, the forest itself was caught in the chaos. It was humbling, sobering, and a reminder of how fragile life really is. The camp hosts told me they had radios and would wake us if anything changed.
Jeez.
I chose to stay and face my fear and trust, and let the forest teach me what peace really means.
Campground. Meadow. Big fire.
It begins here.
Nights like this ask for ritual, a small flame, a steady breath. I had the song Fading by Shayu playing, but due to copyright restrictions, we've got the light. But the lyrics I think fit well here too. I love nature music. It fills me up in ways that I desperately needed. I won't pretend I was serene the whole time though. That plume glowed orange and my nervous system felt the edge. I let fear exist and stayed with myself anyway. The sky out here is ferociously bright. 10 seconds with the stars can reset an entire day. After stargazing, I'm tired. It's time to rest my body. So good night, family. See you at sunrise. Grand rising. What a beautiful day to rise to. This is the best TV ever. Clear morning, birds hopping branch to branch, gossiping in the blue air. This is the point of camping for me. To slow down, bare feet on the earth, and be present with what is. We have the freedom to choose, to release, to be the love we already are. Packed up and ready for the next adventure.
Still burning. So I went exploring, and look what I found. I'm so gonna hang out here for a while, because right over here, swimming hole, hammock, trees, yay.
My pup Zizi rested comfortably and supervised the setup of our little spot we'd found. And as I began to explore with my bare foot in the dirt, watching the water, I realized that my anxiety and sadness always meant one thing. I was off center, out of alignment with that love. I find I come to places like this because nature brings me back to serenity. Soaking up nature's healing symphony has been what has saved me. Nature heals us, and this is why. In Japan, they call it Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, or unhurried time among trees to soak up the negative ions and calm the nervous system. In Scandinavia, they live friluftsliv, everyday life outdoors, not just on weekends. Fresh air as a lifestyle. Different words, same medicine. Step outside, breathe, and let the land recalibrate you. Some healthcare programs around the world actually experiment with nature prescriptions, encouraging time outside to support mental well-being. Sun on the skin, sea on the body, forest on the breath. Simple practices, ancient roots. Notice how your pets will follow the sun in your home, solar charging. But real quick side note, geology friends, see this orange and yellow and reddish streak running through this rock and running into the water like a story? What's your read on that? What is that called? Can someone please tell me in the comments? Now back to why nature heals. Did you know that trees release aromatic phytoncides? Probably said that wrong. As a stress buffer. Did you know that spending time in natural settings like forests has actually been linked to lower stress hormones and a calmer nervous system? Like, it's no wonder I've been going to nature. Those green and earth tones help the body settle. These natural patterns are medicinal, reducing heart rate and easing tension.
I wanted to go exploring, and doesn't this rock look like a salmon or something? That's one of the camp I set up. That water is deeper than it looks. And wow.
Turns out that birdsong and flowing water can actually shift us out of fight or flight and back into focus and steadiness. Bonus points if you're by rivers and waterfalls because there's more negative ions. Now as the fire grows bigger and we can see the plume of it growing, let's read this poem real quick called Choice that I wrote. We are always one choice away from success or ruin, encouraged by thought and voice. And belief influences intention of choice, whether the energy of sadness or rejoice. We can't blame others for our beliefs creating force, nor can we return with buyer's remorse the disempowered Trojan belief horse. We can only adjust our focus on an empowered course, one with lessons on mastery of beliefs and choice, where immersion amplifies your truth's voice, where belief creates experiences of bliss and rejoice. Choice by Candace J. Frazier. So beliefs create experiences, and then experience confirm our beliefs. So that's where we always start. I have another spoken word poem called Nature. In nature, the wind whispers of freedom. The birds rejoice in song. The bees find sweetness in every flower. The dragonfly stays present to all wonder. The tiniest of creatures gather, present in their power, giving no thoughts to minutes or the hours. They flow and sway in their unique swan song. No fear of their purpose, they simply belong. They embody courage and being strong, just as the hawk soars high in the sky as if nothing is wrong. Rest calmly like the water on the pond. To self say sweet nothings, and to the mystery be fond. As you master your mind, body, and soul, and to self deeply bond. Feeling very serene and self-sourced and very self-loved, soaking up all the beauty around me. However, that would change.
Okay, so I've been sitting here for a couple hours. The smoke went down and disappeared for quite a bit. And then it came back with a vengeance. And this is the closest I've seen the smoke. I think it's not good. Hot, squiggly dog ass. I think the wind is shifted in this direction. And I think 20 miles is a lot less now. Anyway, it was a beautiful spot. Perfect Chihuahua nap spot. Definitely coming back here. Okay, I got everything packed up and I'm glad I did because this does not look good. I'm Audi 2000.
In the middle of fire and uncertainty, I found peace wasn't about control. It was about alignment. Serenity and chaos can exist in the same breath. I stopped across from the campground to watch the valley breathe. Left to right, heavy smoke, clear to blue, serenity and chaos, sharing one horizon. As I watched the sky, smoke swelling, then softening, fear said run, wisdom said feel. Freedom to choose isn't pretending it's fine. It's choosing presence when it isn't. When the wind shifted, I listened to my body and moved. Future me knows more about fire behavior. Present me listened, packed, and moved. And that's freedom too. So you see, these fires, the losses, the silence, they were all teachers. Teachers that were teaching me how to breathe through pain instead of run from it. To find peace in the pause. To build a life rooted in what was real, not what was expected. What I see now is that this was the initiation, the moment I began transforming my triggers into teachers. This trip prepared me for what was coming, learning how to be my own source of love, safety, and belonging. That's when the real freedom began, when I stopped waiting for someone else to go with me and started saying yes to life, even if it meant solo. I hadn't had my picnic yet, so I decided to trust that it would be okay for me to sit here and do that. And so I set up the camera so it could capture the way that the smoke was drifting to the north towards Tahoe out of Hope Valley. And what a sight it was. On the way out to the highway, it looked like a moving wall. And ironically, in this moment, I felt cracked open by loss, by smoke, and the silence, but that crack became a window. It was where my path began to turn inward, and I realized if chaos was outside, the practice had to be inside. So right over that ridge is Barkleyville, California, and Grover Hot Springs. And this fire would actually go on to burn over 68,000 acres and wouldn't be fully put out and contained until October of 2021. That is just insane and intense how this fire was burning. The mountains had disappeared behind the smoke. And in this moment, I was filled with a myriad of emotions, from sadness and serenity to awe, confusion, and a slight bit of panic and like, oh my God, I need to get out of here quickly. And even more so, fires back home followed, weeks of thick air, closed windows. No adventures, just practice being with what is. And then sadly, our sweet cat grew ill. I did what I could, made her comfortable, stayed close, loved her completely, and was by her side till her last breath. With air quality very unhealthy, this squirrel frantically chirped at me for help. Grief became a teacher and creativity became the doorway back to my heart. And then the skies cleared and I got back out to nature. Immersed in that medicine I had been longing for, I was able to feel the sand, and little by little the weight shifted and I could get back into my passion, purpose, and smile again. Thanks for joining me on this episode. We'll get into all of that more on the next episode, the season between grief, practice, and the slow return of joy. If you want more nature ASMR, check out my other channel at Nature's Healing Symphony. If this helped you to breathe, you're my people. Ready to reset from grief to glowing? Scan this and get your guide now. Like, comment, share with your friends, and subscribe to This Way to Bliss so you can traverse the next trail with me. Stay sovereign, stay self-sourced. Remember, your heart is your home. Thanks for watching.